absolutely ridiculous. They'll believe anything. They'll believe anything. Maybe.
So for anybody watching this channel, you probably have a similar question that you'd love to ask us that many people have been asking me, which is, why did you call your channel No Idea? Right? It's actually pretty funny because people say, hey, can I follow you? What's your channel name? Like, no idea. They're like, really? I can help you search. I'm like, no, it's no idea.
It's just no idea.
Yeah, so it actually worked out pretty well. But the real reason is that we just see a lot of things that when we look at them, we're going like, dude, no idea. Like, what the hell?
That was going on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And there are some really interesting videos and things like that. So again, we're going to maybe do a little series for people. We show some of these things that we look at and we say no idea. So what do you think, Abby? I see you laughing because you're predicting
Interesting.
what's
What
coming.
kind of thing you're going to show me?
All right, well, let's have a look at this one. And
Stupid
you
thing?
can. I don't want to actually preface it and say it's stupid or not stupid, but let's just have a look at one that I saw recently, right?
Cool.
Okay.
I'm not safe here. It is not safe. Do you understand? Ma'am, there is nothing safe. Do you understand? No, ma'am, I don't understand. You can't make me. I'm not safe here. I work hard. I pay for my seat. Clearly, it's going to put my life in danger. Okay, so you're going to move him. That's how it's going to be. I understand. Then move him. Ma'am, this is a full fight. I can't move anyone. Do you want me to call cops? Do you want to lose your job? Do you? Because right now you're violating my rights as a citizen, as a human being. You're intentionally putting me in danger. I do not wish anyone to be in danger. Thank you, then move him, ma'am. This is a full flight. I can't move him. I don't want to sit there. Do you want me to call the cops? Because I will. I'll call him right now. You can't move people because they don't want to sit next to them. He's violating our rights and our safety. I asked him for his vaccine card, and he doesn't have one because he's not vaccinated. You have to have a mask and be vaccinated. You're not actually wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask because I really have asthma. I have a heart condition. I have children. I'm fully vaccinated to protect them. You're intentionally putting my health at risk right now. If you wish to be on this flight, I need you to take a seat. Okay, that is a seat you paid for, and it's the only one. I know the law. You're violating the law right now. You're completely breaking the law. You have to find me another seat. It's not the law to be vaccinated to come on this flight. You can't make me breathe his oxygen because he's not vaccinated. You're not listening to me. If you wish to be on this flight, I need you to take your seat. I'm not sitting there. You're putting my life in danger right now. I cannot be made to breathe his oxygen. That's not fair. This is the seat you paid for. Do you want me to see my children? Yes. You're putting them at risk now. One available. I don't want to sit there. He's not vaccinated. You're intentionally putting my life in danger. Now you're not putting your life in danger. I'm not going to sit there. No, I'm not sitting there. How many times do I have to say this?
I know how challenging air travel is these days, but there will be no discrimination on my aircraft.
It's not discrimination.
Vaccinated or unvaccinated, we should respect each other. And as it seems, you have trouble doing that. Please exit the aircraft.
Yes, you're kind of crazy woman.
I apologize for the delay. We'll do our best to get you into London, England on schedule. Hopefully, making up some of that lost time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight. Captain, much check.
Yeah, I like this captain. Yeah, these people.
I like staff on this aircraft is good.
Sure.
They are not just answer her require.
Sure.
Weird require.
So you agree, right? That's a no idea video, right?
Yeah, we have no idea what caused this woman. What caused her attitude?
Well, see, this is what I actually wanted to talk about. So I know that you might laugh when you watch this, and the first time I watched it, I laughed, and I didn't just laugh. I think I also almost had this feeling of like kicked her off the plane and everything.
Yes.
But my view has changed a lot since then.
Okay.
And the reason is that I feel bad for this woman, right?
Oh, right.
That woman has some kids. That's one thing. But secondly, she doesn't look stupid.
Oh,
She doesn't, right? Does she look stupid to you?
that
No.
angle.
But there's no logic in what she's saying. She's saying there that that guy is not vaccinated, is putting her life at risk. How is he putting her life at risk when she's vaccinated? I thought being vaccinated meant you are protected.
Yes.
So you can agree with me, right? I'm sure anybody would agree. There's no logic with what she's saying. But does she look happy? No.
No.
Does she look calm or stressed? She looks very stressed out.
Anxious.
Yeah. And I'm sure that in all other areas of her life, not all, but most, she's actually probably a pretty decent person, probably pretty decent morals, probably pretty logical person, right?
Love her children.
Yeah. So my question then is, what has happened to this poor woman? What has happened to her that is making her so illogical?
I think because she heard the narratives every day from media, from other news.
Sure.
Circular.
And that's what I want to say to people. Every single one of us can be manipulated. Every single one of us is being manipulated right now. I know that I am being manipulated every day. Because, you know, these algorithms that all these social media platforms use, right? They
Yes.
know all about us. If you have to look at my search history, what you'll find out about me is I love doing research. I love searching and reading and finding out. And when I find something that proves there's a lie, I get a dopamine hit, man. I feel alive.
Because the algorithm know who you are.
I'm sure the algorithm knows who I
yeah,
am, right?
they know what
And
you want.
there is more than enough stuff on the internet to give me that, like a drug addict, right? Give me that dopamine hit, make me feel right and justified. And oh, look, I found it.
Right.
But you know what? I'm her. Because the same thing happened to her is happening to me.
Oh.
And the same thing happening to her is happening to you. And same it's happening to you and to everybody. Because there is the perfect food for you. The food for me, I know what it is. It's finding out these pieces of information. So I know that there's this information that's dropped there for me. And there's information dropped for you and anybody to find based on you. So if you are someone who doesn't have time or doesn't like reading and searching through articles, and all you want to do is just be a good person and just see some news headlines and trust the news, there is that for you. And I'm sure that that woman is probably, I'm judging her, I shouldn't, but I guess that she's like that. She's busy with her kids. She doesn't have time to read. She thinks she's a good person. She likes probably treating people well. And it has manipulated her. The same way that I get manipulated. And the same way that someone who on the opposite side of the spectrum to me, who believes the opposite of me, also is finding stuff.
Okay.
We are all her.
Like what we thought. The algorithm know what we thought, what kind of people we are. So they feed us more information.
Well-
And it's like an echo chamber.
Well, I think
So-
there that they actually, I don't even know if they need to feed it, because I think the filter bubble basically does it for us, right?
Like we will go find by ourselves.
Sure, or it would get suggested to us, but I'm not going to say that there's somebody pushing it to me. They don't need to. I'll do it by myself through the filter bubble. But
Yes.
I think that in the past, people, when the internet came around, people thought this was going to be an amazing thing because there was all this information.
Yeah.
So you kind of have different choices, right? One is you can start limiting that information. But another thing that I know they do in times of war is flood information. So like if before Pearl Harbor, let's say, when Pearl Harbor was attacked, I think that these guys put all sorts of different messages. It's happening today, it's happening tomorrow, it's happening the next day. All at the same time, because once you put all of this out there, how do you find what is true?
How to filter the
Yeah.
true information?
So these guys put everything out there. Whoever these guys are, I don't know, but somebody around is making sure that it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to find that thing that does it for you.
Okay.
And that brings us to the question of why. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Because if you think about this, if you look at that woman, she is, fighting with the guy who's not vaccinated. Someone who believes in climate change is fighting with someone who doesn't believe in climate change. Someone who likes anything is fighting with the person who doesn't like it. These things are making all of us fight each other. Why? Because when we fight each other, we're not focused on the people doing bad stuff. And if you just think about it, like this week, a good example would be this COP26 we talked about. 400 private planes flew into Scotland. Joe Biden's motorcade, the cars he was driving, 85 cars to drive him and his people around. And why did they go there? To tell everybody to stop flying and stop driving. Again,
So
it's the same logic. It is absolutely no logic.
No logic.
But will we do anything about it? No. Why? Because we're too busy fighting each other.
Yeah. Okay.
We're divided. So I'm her. You're her. Everybody is her in some way.
You mean on every topics we all have our side, and the side is becoming more and more extreme, and like the bias. We are biased to each other. We
Sure.
couldn't sitting or standing in the middle wrong and talk with each other and open others' opinion. So we are busy at fighting our own standing, fight against other people's.
Sure.
But actually, we forgot to dig deep into this topic. Like a question why this topic happened.
Sure. And think about 10, 15 years ago. Were you worried about the left and the right? No.
No, I
Me, I wasn't.
heard this kind of terms recently.
Yeah. Why? Why is it now? Because now there are all these labels. There's so many different types of people and it's being pushed. So there's every different type of person belongs to some kind of different group, and all the groups are fighting with all the other groups. And this is done to distract us, to make us all fight with each other so that these people behind the scenes can keep raping the earth and keep pushing down the people in the middle class and the lower class. I mean, think about it. How many politicians lost their salaries during COVID? Not a single one. They all got paid, but they made a whole lot of other people lose their savings and not get paid. Why? After 2007, 2008, how many of the people who caused the financial crisis went to jail? None.
None, yeah.
Why? Why don't we hold these people accountable? Because we're all busy fighting.
And the government even saved them. No one argue with that.
And then they got huge bonuses a while later from the taxpayer money. So they take the taxpayers' money and we do nothing about it because we're so divided and distracted. So a while ago, I watched another video. This is quite a while ago. This is during the close to the Trump election thing. And there was this guy who was working at like a 7-Eleven. And then there was a Republican guy who walked in wearing a red hat, a Trump hat. And the guy working there lost his mind. I mean, it was really, really ridiculous how this guy lost his mind. And I remember it because I was like looking at this guy and thinking, what an idiot. And I have to change. We all have to change. We cannot look at that guy because that guy in his natural state is not a lunatic. He's not crazy. Something happened to that guy to make him act so crazy. Like something has happened to this woman. And as we agreed, there's no logic with what this woman is saying. And if you look at people believing stuff where there's no logic, they're being manipulated. And so are we, all of us. And we're all looking at the other people thinking the other people are mad. They're looking at us and thinking that we are mad.
I think for this example in Taiwan, maybe like Korean fish. You mean like some people love Korean fish. They are really like 粉丝 like 始终的粉丝 loyal fans. They can believe Korean fish. They can supporting without just like 100%. But in the young generation, we think, why they do this? You look at how Korean fish did his job, how he did on the meetings and whatever they say. So it creates like two generations
Fighting each other.
Fighting each other and conflicts.
Sure.
But I think at a time, we try to understand why you think that way, but I don't think it's a communication because everyone are just explain their stand and what they believe, not to try to understand the other side.
I mean, for a long time, I think I've mentioned this to you. I keep asking people in Taiwan, saying, because for anybody who doesn't know, there are like two major parties, the KMT and the DPP. And I keep asking people, saying, what do these people stand for? What does the KMT stand for? What does the DPP stand for? Like, what policies, what do they see for the future, for the economy? How are they planning to achieve their goals? I have not met one person who's been able to answer that question. Everybody just says, China, Taiwan.
Yes.
Everybody seems to be completely distracted by this one issue.
Just one issue.
But what about all the other issues?
Since that doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Only focus is about the China and Taiwan, and it's we call it like a 意识形态, just a conscious thing.
It's the
Like
two
the
Ds.
beliefs only, two Ds.
Distract and divide.
Yeah, right.
People are being distracted by this China-Taiwan thing, sure, but there are other important issues, and I don't hear anody telling me that
Look
they
at the
voted.
policy, right?
Yeah, they don't look down, and everybody, is being fooled by
It
this.
doesn't, like few people talking about their policy and the previews their when they be president, what kind of thing they've done, and what's the data.
Sure.
They-
And like
people
I've
seldom
looked
talk
at
about it.
regulations in Taiwan, and I've read a whole lot of articles, and this may or may not be true, but from what I've read, people say that an issue in Taiwan is a lot of regulation. So for me, I'd love to know which of these parties has a plan to loosen the regulation, or if one of them wants to add more regulations, and how that affects the free market and how that affects how we all do business. I'd love to know these, but nobody can tell me the answers to these questions.
Okay. That part I don't really quite understand because I live in Taiwan. So you must have another experience from your countries, like
No, not
what's
particularly. More just like reading. I was
Alright.
reading recently a story where they were talking about how they're building the wind turbines in the sea of Taiwan. And the guy was saying that it's really hard to get the ships to bring the supplies to the place. But mainly just due to so much regulation, and it was really slowing down the building of these things.
yeah, that's
so it's just
true.
laws and regulations. So one of the things about Donald Trump that people talk about was that he was trying to, and this I'm not sure if it's true 100%, but what people talk about is that he was trying to cut regulations. And I think normally it was the Republicans who wanted to cut regulations and the Democrats who were more increasing regulations. But whatever it is, I just wish people would talk about an issue like that, not just Taiwan, China all the time.
yes.
But it seems that this is really convenient because all you do is feed people this China-Taiwan thing, and they're so distracted by that they never even think about other issues.
That's a more easy way to win the vote.
Distract, divide.
Provoke the emotion,
Yeah.
and the people we're not focused on the policy. They don't think too much, don't know much. Only one thing they care is if they like this politician or not.
Sure.
Just a feeling thing.
Sure.
Just
Not
a feeling.
real actual policy details. So, yeah.
No, we don't look at their job. We don't know what kind of thing they do. Just I like this guy, so I vote for him. I like his face.
Sure, and that's why democracy works well when you have a well-educated public and also a well-informed public, when people really know what's going on and think about it. And there might be people in Taiwan, I can't speak for everybody, there might be a lot of people who know these answers. All I'm saying is for me, I've tried to ask everybody I know, and I haven't been able to get any answers from anyone.
Yeah.
And I know quite a lot of people that I've asked.
I know, even me.
Ah,
I don't
you know.
I don't know. that
So anyway,
much.
so back to what we were talking about. Like, I introduced you to Tom McDonald.
Right.
And
So,
I
yeah.
really like Tom McDonald because I watch, and the guy seems to say the truth a lot, right? It's like really truthful things. And I also had this thought, I was like, and I've seen other people comment about this and say, I'm sure the people behind the scenes are so unhappy and pissed off because Tom McDonald is spreading the truth. And this week I realized that I'm completely wrong. They absolutely love Tom McDonald. Even though he's showing maybe the truth, it helps them divide people.
You mean those people who manipulated the public? They love McDonald's.
They love everything. It doesn't matter which thing it is. They love all of it because there is someone who will like each part.
Because it will create like a
Division.
division.
People, divide people, and then steal from them. Take the power. Look at how many people's rights have been taken away this year. Restricting people's rights. How many people are losing their jobs? Why did the big supermarkets and department stores stay open in a lot of places, but the small businesses need to close?
Walmart, Costco can
Yeah.
still open.
Sure, and
but
there again is no logic. Because if you can spread the virus in a small shop, you can spread it at a Costco. But one was allowed to stay open and the other one wasn't. So all I'm going to say to people is when you see a video like that, or that one, if anyone has seen it, about the guy who went to like the 7-Eleven in America and saw the guy freaking out, when you see people freaking out, please, that's you.
Oh.
The only way we get past this is if we have empathy for these people and that they learn to have empathy for us, and we start working together and realizing that every single one of us is being manipulated. And that's what we have in common. We're all being manipulated. There's no ways you could say, oh, but not me. No, you too. Everyone. And if we realize that we have that in common, then when we see people behaving crazily, we'll say, right, they're behaving crazily because they're being manipulated, but they're probably good people. And if we get to that point, maybe we'll shift the focus, start looking at the real places where the evil is happening, and we kick those people out, and we put good people in, and we make real change in the world. That's what I want to say to people.
Okay, they really connects lots of dots before. So I think the first step is like we have to be aware of these things.
And
Before for me, I just only focus about the crazy thing.
The crazy thing, and I've been doing that as well.
The other side people do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might be the one.
And we share videos, right? Well, look at this crazy person. That's what we've got to stop. If we share the video, we say, look at this poor person. Look what they've done to this person who is one of us. And when we think of an us, and everyone is part of an us, and we have empathy for these people, hopefully we can make change. Because if we keep doing it the way we're doing it, I just think we're going to get more divided, and they're going to steal more and make our lives worse.
Like a spiral.
Yeah.
And we're going down.
So anyway, I think that was... Well, we'll move on to the next segment.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.